Alright, are we good? Hello, hello? Welcome, welcome? Hello, hello! Why am I hearing my own echo? That's weird. How is everybody doing? I hope everyone is having a lovely day. Can you hear me? Can you see me? We are good. We are good. I am very glad to hear. Full screen. Hello, hello. Alright, let's get this going. There we go. I am still trying to figure out so many things in regards to, do we have our regular music again? Let me just see if I can get my thoughts in order. Hello, 1 second here. I'm going to learn how to do this better, eventually. Figuring life out. You know what? Hang on 1 sec. I think there's one thing I didn't do that is making my life a little bit crazy. Hang on. Trying to get everything going. Trying to get everything ready. It is not easy. Give me 1 sec. There we go. Alright. I'm not driving myself super crazy yet. What did I do here? You know what? That's fine. I'm just gonna add these back. I'm still figuring everything out, but hello, hello, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, everybody! Hello, that rat, hello, Grendel, hello, Lady Red, hello, Vessa, hello, Geekish, hello, Grendel, hello, yelling at me, and hello, hello, everybody! How is everybody doing today? I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Oh my gosh, this is... hello, Blank. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. You guys can actually see emotes. It's incredible. Nice to have you back. I am glad to be back. It has been so long, honestly. It has been so long, and I am still trying to figure out so many things. This is gonna be a very scuffed debut, but it's gonna be good, and I'm very happy to share it all here with you, you know, that's the main thing, right? I feel like we're just gonna be learning a lot as we go. I feel like I'm doing this all brand new again. I'm taxed I spent 4 hours out finishing Christmas shopping, lol. Nice work, Bessa. Having a great day? Cat is sleeping next to my leg. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, I'm really excited. This is the first time. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. This is like the first time you guys have seen me like this, isn't it? I mean, unless you saw Irium, and we will talk about Irium in just a bit for sure. We're still a whole month from Kremsnacht. I've been having some busy days. Just returned from London yesterday. Ooh, that sounds fun. I did Christmas shopping in the spring. Geekish, you are prepared, my goodness. I had seen your model before and you look bedazzling. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Might be quiet because I'm finishing up highlights on the PNG tuber. I'm listening intently. No worries, Lady Red. That is very important. I'm very excited for you, too. I love the aurora on the clothes. I'm excited to show off the aurora. I'm very excited. Yeah, no, Geekish is like super ahead of the game. Even the wings have the crystalline brilliance. Yes, we've got crystalline wings. Oh my gosh, hello. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Oh my gosh, you can like, it's amazing. You can hear and see me clearly. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Oh, yeah. I'm going to I still have so much to fix and figure out, but I really wanted to be able to go live here on Twitch and YouTube and get life back together, right? It has been... I was gonna make a joke and say your audio's cutting out. I thought you'd kill me. Just maybe. Just a little bit. Just maybe. no, but, no, audio's good, music is good, our volume's good, because I haven't been able to, like, I have not really gotten a chance to test anything on this end, so we are going pretty, natural here as much as we can. I always buy Christmas gifts in spring semester, wrap up during summer, early fall semester, then I'm also preparing first event in December, plus like to beat the Christmas rush. Geekish, you are on top of it, my goodness. This is working better than Irium for you right now. Yeah, I don't think we can, yeah. We're gonna figure out Irium. I can still barely hear the music. My speakers are also kind of bad, so it could just be me. I am so bad at figuring out, background volume. Let's see if we can get something better here. I said this already, I'll say it again. Your model's so cute, I love. Thank you, Ayana, I appreciate it so much. Can't get Irium? Yeah, it's currently a US and Japan thing, unfortunately. But I want to do my best to, try to create archives. I don't think I'm gonna be able to create archives all the time because, I mean, at least this week for sure, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make archives. I'm trying a few things to see what I can get to behave correctly. But I don't think I'm gonna be able to do archives, immediately. I want to be able to, though. I want to be able to start. I feel like it's been forever. Last time I saw you, you were a fox. Now fox human, still beautiful. Thank you, Geekish. How have I been? How's my journey been? It's been a long journey. We are going to talk about a little bit of the long journey, but it's been a long journey, honestly. I don't think I've taken this much of a adventure in a while. It's been a lot, but we're gonna be back. We're gonna be better than ever. There's still a few things that are a little bit scuffy, but we're gonna eventually, like, here's the thing, you guys get to be part of this, right? We're going to gradually improve everything together, which I'm excited about. I think that'll be cool. I'm gonna have to figure out my audio because I can hear myself and I'm trying to not let it bother me, but it's a little tricky. But that's okay, that's okay. So basically, I think the best way to start this off is to sort of, explain, a little bit of lore and backstory. I know I tried sharing some of it on Irium, but I don't know if any of it went through. So I'm gonna share a little bit of lore, and then we're gonna go into what has happened since then, and we can sort of talk about, future plans and everything, if that sounds good. Because I do have a lot of future plans, I'm just, oof, I am honestly a little bit of a mess, but your support means the world to me. We're gonna figure this out. We are. Well, okay, basically I think the best way to start is just sort of saying, you know, where I've been and what I've been doing, right? So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Starlight. I am a prismatic wish-granting kitsune. I originally was from the celestial planes in a realm called Estrella, and it was ruled by a phoenix and a unicorn. And this phoenix and unicorn watched over the sun, the moon, and the stars. And there were, in this world of Estrella, there were griffins, and there were kelpies, and there were Kieran and Siren, and there were a whole lot of adorable little lunar rabbits whose fur sparkled in the moonlight. And below Estrella, there was a mortal realm that was newly formed, and it was based on creativity and passion. And there were various deities consumed with a desire for power who wanted to take the magic for themselves and control it. There was a disturbance in the world of creation, and the balance that it held. As a result, there was a much larger, primordial creature who came down and caused a cataclysmic event to try to stop this takeover of power. Unfortunately, that event, trying to restore balance, hit directly into Estrella, and the phoenix and the unicorn did their best to save every creature in the land. They encased us in this cocoon of crystal, and we ended up falling down into the mortal realm. This mortal realm is known as Illusionari, and Illusionari is where I reside now. At first, I was very lost and confused. I had nobody. But there was eventually a little wisp who was very persistent and kept following me. And I could see that something was definitely not quite right with this little wisp. And as I made my way through exploring these lands, this wisp wanted something. It kept hovering over me, it kept bothering me, and I knew that something was wrong. And because this phoenix and this unicorn had protected us, they had given everything to us. So I was previously a normal fox, and from them was bestowed the crystal wings that you see before you now. I was essentially the only one who could protect this little wisp. So I took a feather in my wing and created this sort of makeshift wand of sorts, and I cast a spell on this wisp, and it ended up turning into this creature I'd never seen before. It was like one of the lunar rabbits, except it had a crystal horn, and it had these little tassels below its ears. It was very excited to see me, and it introduced itself as Prism. And Prism explained that it used to be one of the lunar rabbits in Estrella. So we've been working together ever since, and Prism's told me that there are other wisps all around Illusionari that came from Estrella as well, and we need to try and figure out who these wisps are and get them back into these true forms of them. Or, I guess not true forms, improved forms. I don't think they're ever going to become the lunar rabbits that they once were, but they're taking on this new form that Prism has dubbed Stargazers. And I've met a lot of Stargazers on my journey so far. I've met you guys as Stargazers as well, right? So there's a whole lot that we are learning and growing with together. I want to help Stargazers and help them uncover their gifts and their skill sets and create a little home for them and, you know, introduce them to this atelier that Prism and I eventually built that Stargazers can stay at and learn and grow from. And I really want to be able to create a place where everyone can feel comfortable and safe in this new crazy world that, due to all of this destruction, unfortunately still isn't in the best condition it could be. Illusionari was a newly formed world, and in order to stop this takeover of magic, there was a lot of destruction that had to happen. We were eventually able to stop this destruction, and that's a whole story for another day. So Illusionari is safe now, but there's still a bunch of problems. There's still a lot of... There's angry creatures, there's corrupted creatures, there's a lot of scary beings still in the world, and it's not safe everywhere there. You know, that's why we have the forest. That's why we have this atelier. And I'm hoping that in this atelier, I can sort of help keep the existing Stargazers and Wisps safe. The forest has its own form of protection that you might have seen. If you followed along on my journey and answered some of these riddles, you can see that the forest wants to protect itself too. Illusionari is a wonderful, wonderful place, but it's not without its problems. And I'm hoping that as we explore the world, we can help people who have these problems. Unfortunately, it's gonna take a lot of time, and I don't think that everybody here trusts me yet. First of all, I'm one of the only creatures that look humanoid, so that already makes people freaked out, but as a kitsune, it's natural for me. We can gain a human form, right? That's part of who we are. Illusionari is not used to that, though. They don't trust me. And you can see why that became an even bigger problem. But as much as I want to tell you about how we worked together and Prism helped me save this land from being completely destroyed, not everyone sees things the same way. As you can see, Illusionari still has many, many obstacles to overcome. And stargazers, I'm hoping that you'll help me. So, what happened next? You know my backstory, and how we all came here, and the Atelier that we built, and I feel like I've mentioned the Atelier many times. I feel like you guys have somewhat become accustomed to the Atelier. Some of you are even already here, and exploring your natural gifts, and figuring out, you know, what works best to help you fulfill your dreams and wishes. So, Prism and I had worked on building this Atelier, and after everything that happened, falling from Estrella, losing this Phoenix and Unicorn who were my mentors, losing all these creatures that I knew, not seeing any of these lunar bunnies, and seeing that they'd been turned into these spirits that couldn't do anything, I was starting to feel a little bit, discouraged, a little bit hopeless, to be honest. The magic of Illusionari is still extremely unfamiliar to me, and I couldn't really pretend that I knew what I was doing, but there were a lot of stargazers who've already been in the Atelier. They were counting on me, and I wanted to connect with more. I wanted to meet these whips and meet these other stargazers, and I wanted to give them a home in the Atelier, but I didn't feel like I was able to do that. There's so many problems still, and so much fighting and destruction, and I don't really have it in me to help anyone here. But I still wanted to try, so despite the frustrations and feeling extremely lost with myself and not really knowing what I was doing, I decided to apply to this program, and this program was called Irium. And I was told that I'd be able to meet a bunch of new stargazers who I'd never met before, and I wanted to see if they would want to join me in the Atelier, and I could introduce them to Illusionari and really try to help them with their dreams and their wishes and their desires, and we could tell stories, and we could have a lot of fun and create a lot of memories, and I could help them discover their hidden talents. We could go on all kinds of adventures, and I was still terrified. I didn't know if I could give them a place that they would call home. Even as a wishcrafting kitsune, I was still asking a lot of their blind trust. But, as luck would have it, there was still a knock at the door one day, and a girl with a robotic cat on her head handed me a letter, and she explained that she was also from another world, and through Irium I could meet all these new stargazers and all sorts of people that I could tell stories to, and we could laugh and have fun together and explore so many things, and I could have this new venture. I've been cooped up in the Atelier for so long and working to improve my spell work, and nothing was happening. My spell work is my art, and my art is my spells. And there was a disconnect, and I really knew that this couldn't be the only thing I could do. I had to share stories too. I couldn't just do art. There had to be more to what I had to offer. And in order to give a home to these stargazers, I knew that I would have to get out and explore a lot more avenues. And I really wanted to create a special event for these stargazers, right? These new stargazers that I was going to meet. I was really excited. I wanted to do all of this party planning. I wanted to have all of this fun with them. But there was all of this noise in the forest surrounding the Atelier. It was extremely disturbing, and I knew that it was just, it was not gonna work. There was no homeliness, there was no camaraderie. I didn't feel like this would be a good way to introduce people to Illusionari for the first time. So I went to the forest and saw what was up, and there were all of these gnomes and elves and goblins and creatures, and they were all making a ruckus. They were chopping down the trees. They were destroying the forest. Some of them had even been able to get the deer to help them, which was insane to me. And I asked them what they were doing, and they said that ever since the malice and blight of me landing in Illusionari, their homes have been destroyed, and that this was my fault, and that they had to work day in and day out to rebuild what they had lost because of me. And I couldn't believe it. I was stunned. I tried to explain to them that they were causing this commotion and this ruckus, and I wanted to help them, but time was of the essence here. And they were just so angry and frustrated with me, I had no choice but to leave. So despite the setbacks, and despite all the noise they were causing, I decided to try another day. I decided to gather all these materials last minute and do what I could with the time I had left. Irium was going to expect me very soon, and I didn't want to let these new stargazers down, so I gathered everything I could, and I love party planning. I love creating events. I wanted to do something special. So as time was running out over these next few days, I kept rushing through with Prism, and we tried setting up the front of the Atelier as best we could, and doing what we could to make something special. I was still really excited to show off something, but I still had my doubts. What if I can't help new stargazers? What if they don't like the Atelier? What if all of this goes wrong? And what if this magic doesn't work the way that it should? As time went on, I realized I didn't have anything ready. I was just trying to make do with best I could. As I was trying to get things ready, I heard a thunderous roar. And I kept thinking to myself, what is happening? Why am I even doing this? What is going on? There was this giant screech, and I ended up dropping everything that I was holding. A giant shadow loomed over in front of me and landed at my side. Thunderclouds started rolling in, and I told Prism to get inside. A thunderbird towering over landed in front of me and told me they came to stop the one who brought malice to these lands. They stared at me with bright, intense eyes, and as the sky grew darker, they waited for my reply. I told them I brought no malice, that I had been trying to save Illusionari, and that I'd been trying to plan a party to meet new friends, for God's sake. The thunderbird told me that this was nonsense, and that I've destroyed the homes of those in the forest, and that I'm the only new creature in this land, so it's clearly who's the one at fault here. They said I have dark magic surrounding me, thoughts of despair and longing, thoughts of frustration and sadness, while I'm just here trying to hold everything together. It's no use. The thunderbird lunges, and we end up in a fight in the storm. The thunderbird continues to accuse me of hurting Illusionari itself when I've been doing everything I can to help it. I was the one that stopped the blight and the malice from spreading. I was the one that told this primordial being that they had to be the one to stop. I was the one that tried to hold everything together and keep the entire world of Illusionari from falling apart. But, as I mentioned, not everybody sees things the same way. I wasn't able to reason with the bird, and the land covered in malice and blight was still ongoing. The Thunderbird, combined with everything else, overwhelmed me and won. And satisfied enough with its own victory, thinking that it was the one who saves the day, it leaves for the northern mountains, and I scrambled to get back to the Atelier. Prism eventually sees me, drenched and beaten up, completely messed up with electricity, and thoroughly exhausted. I'm supposed to meet new stargazers today. It is thundering, I am drenched, nothing is ready, though Prism tried to make a cake, which was very nice. Nothing had gone as it should. I realized that despite the situation, I would try to do the best that I could. So we tried to meet the new stargazers, but I don't think they were really able to hear me, honestly. I don't think I was able to create an environment that made them comfortable, or feel welcome, or homely. So, I realized I was going to have to try again. Anew, and with a lot of the stargazers who were already familiar with the Atelier, and could help introduce this place to new coming stargazers that I could eventually meet. And though there's still been lots of trials and tribulations to everything, and I don't have to just gain the trust of new stargazers, I'm going to have to gain the trust of all of Elucinari now. Malice and Blight still plague these lands, and despite doing my best to save it, we're going to have to travel a lot together and make sure these creatures know that we don't want to cause chaos, and that we want to give them a home too. So for the stargazers here now, welcome back to the Atelier, and I hope that we can start having some fun together. Hopefully, that's given you a bit of a background on everything that has been going on. There's been a lot of lack of self-confidence on my end. There's been a lot of growth. There's been a lot of evolution. And there's been a lot of encountering new creatures who aren't familiar with me, or with you, or really have any reason to trust any of us at all. And we're gonna have to work hard to show them that we are here to help, and I'm also here to help you, right? As a wishcrafting kitsune, my goal is to help you all discover your talents and your gifts. And I also want to share stories, because I think that stories are a really important way to get to know each other and share lessons and grow and learn. And I think that we can also share these stories with other creatures of Elucinari and tell them where we've come from and learn about them as well. So that is what I am excited about on this new journey, and going to experience new things and learn with all of you. And hopefully, as we gain new stargazers, they will see that they have a home here in the Atelier as well. I want to see revenge on Zapdos in the future. Hello, Astrofel. It's lovely to see you. Welcome in, welcome in. I hope you've been having a lovely day so far. Yeah. So, it's been a lot, honestly. But I do feel more confident in who I am, at least a little bit. I'm still not 100%, right? None of us are perfect. I've still been doing so much to try to get everything together and figure out a lot, but I'm really excited to share it all with you. Can I cause trouble in Elucinari? Grendel, we're already causing trouble just by being here. I think we need to work to say that we're not causing any trouble. This is why I'm gonna have to keep my eye on all the stargazers, right? Well, anyway. Let's chat a bit. I actually have opened a cafe in the Atelier. It's called Kitsune Cafe, and some of the stargazers like to bake. I'll head up onto the terrace, and we can talk more there. Hello, hello! Gayception. We can cause the best trouble, like pool parties and handmade ice cream. There you go! Well, like I said, we were able to get a cake. So, I hope you'll join me for a bit. I thought that it would be fun just to sort of explore a bit and chat for a little minute. Sort of have some time where we can calm down and relax and tell you about what the future holds, right? So, for those of you who know me, you know that I've primarily been doing art. And as I mentioned previously, I feel like it's something where I can't just be doing art forever, right? I mean, it is my first love. My spellwork is my art, my magic is my art, and art is magic. That's a mantra that I like to share with people. But I feel like fully depending on it can be a bad thing. Magic can be exhausting, and it's very easy to burn out with it too. I feel like it has its time, but it can't be everything. And sometimes my magic really wears out to the point that I'm not even able to do it much anymore. So, in order to make sure that that doesn't happen, I want to add more things to the Atelier. We have this cafe now, and I have a workshop that I can eventually introduce to you. We also have something called the Silver Library, which comes from a place in Australia that I used to be very familiar with, because as I said, it's very important to share stories. And I'm hoping that the Silver Library can be a home where we can do that as well. As well as stories, I think it's really important to share in the adventures of others. I know you've had quite a year. What would you say has been the best bit of your evolution journey? I feel like you've done so many awesome things in the background we're just getting to see, and I'm excited for you. Thank you, Lady Red. Also, good morning, Dual Thrones. It's lovely to see you. What am I most excited for? I guess taking on this new form, right? I've previously been a fox, and then at one point I had this strange sort of dreamlike experience where I had a human form, but it was very closed off and unsure and even more insecure than I am now, and I still have a lot to learn about myself. But I think this new journey of combining art and magic and then going beyond it is what I'm most excited for. I'm really hoping that you guys will be able to have a lot of fun, even for those of you who aren't as much into art. I'm hoping that I can offer more to you. Astrafel says you do amazing, Star. I'm grateful to you for the PNG model. I'm so glad, Astrafel. Prism did a wonderful job. The cake looks delicious. Prism likes to bake. She's very good at it. I think the Atelier needs an aquarium. I'm not sure about that. But I do know that there are places in Illusionari that do have a lot more water. So maybe we can explore that. May I live in the library? We might be able to find a home for you, Astra. I so want to share stories if people are interested. I'm loving my current writing time. I'm really glad. You should definitely be proud of realizing this new form. Thank you. It's been a long time coming, right? There's been so much self-discovery there. I've been previously in this form of what almost feels like a closed-off hermit, right? Definitely not feeling comfortable in my own skin. But, you know, as Kitsune Magic has it, I eventually can get more and more comfortable with who I am. And it's taken me a long time, and I'm still on this journey, and I don't think the journey ever completely goes away for a Kitsune or anyone else, to be real. But I think that it's something that we can all explore together. My magic has a splendid result. Thank you. Also, hello, welcome in, Seahiro, welcome in. I'm glad you've eaten. That makes me happy. Wouldn't the most vital place be an observatory? Well, we do have a bit of an observatory that's attached to the library. I mean, you know, stargazing, not stargazers, but, you know, actually looking up at the sky. A lot of it works in tandem with spellwork and a lot of storytelling, so we do have a bit of an observatory in the Silver Library itself. The new form is amazing. It's hard to believe you're fully self-incarnated. I am, yes. So, for those of you who don't know, self-incarnated, for a VTuber, means that you did not work with anyone else. This is entirely my own spell work. This is my own form. Art is magic, and I'm glad that I'm able to present myself to you in this way. So, this is also a matter of learning new skill sets. I'm able to make things move. I was not the one to put together the terrace here. I've had help with that. But in terms of my new form and sort of my own personal exploration, this is all me. This is my ongoing growth journey. To live up to our names and behold the majesty of endless firmament. There you go, yeah. Skins and selves are for growing into forever. Love where you're at right now. Thank you. We have an observatory. I'm so excited. I'm glad to hear. Our journey never really ends. Last time I saw you were Fox, and I told you I'm just an e-commerce, and now you're Fox Girl, and I've been transitioning to in-person events. We all evolve over time like Pokemon. Yeah, exactly. 100%. I think one thing that I also wanted to share in terms of just sort of our ongoing journey, right? So, I've mentioned the cafe, and I mentioned the library / observatory, and I do have, you know, my own personal study and my own personal areas that we might be able to explore someday. But along with storytelling, I think it's also important to share the stories of others through constellations and charting, right? So in order to tell the stories of others and figure out their own journeys, these heroes, right, who have gone on all of these amazing quests, I want to start exploring their stories with you. And for those of you who don't know, I really love puzzles, I really love adventure, I really love exploration. I want to start retelling these adventures and hero stories to you in the form of games, and sort of exploring that existing tale with you, right? It's like reopening a book and putting yourself in the point of view of the main character. So that is actually something brand new to this whole environment, right? I don't even know how to do it. I'm still exploring it. It's a form of magic that I'm not familiar with at all. I actually might need some of your help at some point. But I want to start playing games in order to tell the stories of other heroes and see what we can learn from them as well. Is the library full of games that you want to share with us too? I'm not really sure if it's part of the library so much as it is one specific book. There's an ongoing there's an endless book, right? You know that I have a spell book, right? Oh my gosh. Taka, hello. Welcome in. Thank you so much for gifting the subs. I appreciate it so much. How are you doing? Oh my gosh. This is crazy. How are you doing? I hope you are having a lovely day. Did someone say heroes? Yeah, well, Taka's the hero right now. Thank you so much, Taka. Question for you. Do you intend at any point to maybe bring other VTubers into the Atelier to collab? I do think that would be something really fun to do. This terrace actually can seat 2 people, so I do want to invite them into the cafe at some point, and I'm hoping they'll, you know, I'm hoping that if I can serve up some sweets that with the stargazers who like to bake, that I can create a homely environment that they'd be happy to be part of. Kaku, hello! But yeah, I definitely would love to bring others into the Atelier. I think that would be really fun. I've never brought other VTubers here, but because I was able to meet Miria of Irium, I do know that it's possible for people of other worlds to come to Illusionari. I wasn't quite sure before, and I think that might not make us the most popular with the locals, right? These creatures that already think we cause trouble. But I've discovered that we can bring people here from other worlds, so I will be able to talk to others as well. Am I to understand that next to the Silver Library we shall soon find the Brass GameStop? I wouldn't say that exactly. There are storybooks and there are spellbooks, right? The storybooks have transcribed stories that we can take record of and share. The spellbooks have a bit more variety and can expand. My spellbook, for instance, has a everlasting number of pages. It can always continue. And in the back of that spellbook, there's a slate. And every time we can tell a story with this slate, we're creating a new page in this endless storybook. It's not a GameStop, that's so silly, it's a Blockbuster. Clearly, bleh. Clearly the locals just need to see more new friends to understand a new face doesn't mean danger. Exactly, exactly. Although, I mean, I can't really blame them, right? The only creature that they've seen new in a Lucinari is me. And all they've known is that there was destruction after I came here. The primordial being who actually caused all of the destruction has since left, and I'm the only one still here, so all the blame falls on me. But that's why we're going to work hard, and we're going to explore all that Lucinari has to offer. And we're going to be able to meet new creatures that can understand us better too. Does a good story not enchant? Place a spell on the reader? Indeed, indeed. It's a different form of storytelling, I would say. I think that there are still many ways of telling stories, and the ones that I want to do are a little bit more interactive, almost as if you are a medium to the character, right? Putting ourselves in the character's shoes and seeing all the trials that they've gone through as well. Throughout this way of telling stories, I can kind of take on the role of this adventurer and play them for a bit, right? Getting to sort of step into their world. I get where they're coming from, but they too will benefit from the growth and the trust. Lots of adventures to have, and the world will be so awesome when everyone is friends. Agreed, agreed. Lee Hunter, hello, hello, welcome in, welcome in. I love interactive stories, they are so fun. I'm glad. It's going to be, it's going to be very, very interesting and very different. And I'm starting off slow, right? Because I am not used to still being able to communicate with the Stargazers while telling this story at the same time. That's going to be very new to me. I have learned how to do it in terms of teaching art and showing off spells in that realm, in the creative realm. I don't know how to do it while telling interactive stories where I have to place myself in the shoes of these adventurers, right? I don't know how to do that yet, so I hope you'll be patient with me while I figure that out. And hello, hello, Lee Hunter. Nice to meet you as well. I hope you have a lovely day so far, and welcome to the Atelier. Slow is fine, there's no rush, we can all learn together. Yeah, thank you very much, I appreciate that. I don't know when we're going to be able to start doing that. It's something that I don't think we're going to be able to do immediately, because I still have to do a lot of preparation for that, and I believe in some worlds there's also a lot of holidays coming up right now, which is causing a bit of a schedule situation for a lot of people, but at the same time, I mean, I've already dealt with a lot of schedule changes, so this isn't anything new, as long as I don't encounter other creatures and beings who are trying to stop all of us now. But, I don't think that the storytelling with interactivity is going to happen immediately. I think we're going to start off with something comfortable, like continuing the artwork and continuing the creative journey. And then in a few weeks' time, it's something I absolutely want to get into. Got any hints on what sort of adventures might be on the list of plans that we'll dive into, or is it secret for now? Some of it is secret, but something, one of them I'm too excited to tell. Has anybody heard of Hamtaro? I'm sure you're working on some big art projects. Indeed, indeed I am. Not all of them being my own. For sure, for sure. Throughout this journey, I have had to figure out a lot of different things with a lot of different timelines. But after today, I'm going to be spending a lot more on others' worlds as well, for sure, for sure. Hopefully all goes smoothly. Don't hesitate to ask for help when you need it. I can't do a lot, but I can do my darndest to support. Thank you, Astra. I appreciate that. That's a throwback, Hamtaro, so some of you do know what it is. So, one of my favorite stories, one of my favorite interactive stories, favorite games, is Hamtaro. There's actually a few different stories, but My favorite is called Ham Ham Heartbreak. And I feel like it's actually very fitting, right? Because, in the same way that we have to sort of help Illusionari, we're gonna also have to help these hamsters, get back together and be friends again, in the same way that we're still trying to introduce ourselves to all these new creatures. So, one thing that I really want to try and play with you and experience together is called Ham Ham Heartbreak. It's a really hidden gem because most people don't know that it was actually, I should have looked this up beforehand because now I don't know the name off the top of my head. But, the, Ham Ham Heartbreak was actually worked on by some of the designers for, Legend of Zelda. So, even though it seems like something that is more on the, simple, easy, younger mode, it actually has a fair amount of depth and interest because it was worked on from the from some people in the Legend of Zelda dev team, which is crazy to me. I know the theme song for Hamtaro was sung by Made Min and Anime NYC. Everyone just danced in circles. That's adorable. Oh my gosh. Made Mint is precious. That's really fun. I'm so glad that that there's other people who are fans of Hamtaro. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one who still remembers it, but the fact that you guys are all telling me that you know of it makes me really excited because that means that we can explore it together. And I won't be starting from scratch. I won't have to explain all of it to you. Ham Hams is just like TOTK. Yeah, that is another story that I absolutely adore. I don't think I'm going to be comfortable enough to explore that live with you guys anytime soon, but it would be cool if someday I could learn to do that. I wouldn't know how to, I don't know how I would stream Tears of the Kingdom while being able to keep up with talking to you all. So, one of the reasons that I chose Hamtaro is that it is fairly laid back in the sense that I will still be able to communicate with you all, and sort of learn how to tell stories live with you guys, because this is super, super new to me, and I really don't know what I'm doing. So something that is a little bit less action-packed, I feel, is a good way to start off. Fun fact for those who don't know, the upcoming game Infinity Nikki was done by the Breath of the Wild devs. I've heard of that, yeah. I feel like a lot of people on the Legend of Zelda team actually work on, like, a lot of the games that are overlooked for being, like too simple or too girly or something. So, I think that's really funny. Can I ask you something about Irium? Absolutely. Starbender stream Infinity Nikki? I really, really want to. Yeah, I think that would be really fun. It also seems like it would be calm enough where I think I could do it on stream. My favorite character from Hamtaro is the small one wearing yellow cloth over itself. Oh, Penelope! Right? That's Penelope? Yeah. Because her friend is Pashmina. Yeah, that one's Penelope. I love Penelope. She's adorable. Oh. As a fan of the Nikki franchise, I'm so excited for it, and her story is actually really deep and can be surprisingly dark. That's really interesting. You see, that's what I'm saying with, like, the Hamtaro games, right? Like, it's not all cutesy. I mean, it is very cutesy, but you can have darker tones to cutesier stories, right? What is the difference to stream on Irium respectful to other platforms? Is it more easy? So, Irium is a completely different experience, right? Irium, is all just chatting, and I would not be able to do any art or gaming, but I could interact directly with you, one-on-one, and there would be no latency. I could respond to you immediately. If any gifts get sent, I can react to those gifts in real time the second that you send them. Everything is very personal. Everything is very, like, close to the person that you want to support. It's a completely different experience. I really, really love Irium so far in its concept. But unfortunately, after this encounter with the Thunderbird, I am going through a lot of difficulties, and I need to be able to fix them soon. So I still want to be more on Irium, and I still love and appreciate Irium, but I'm having some problems. Electricity is not my friend. I am basically if I was a Pokemon, I would be a fairy flying type, most likely. I don't do well with electricity. And it also messes up magic as well. So, yeah, Thunderbird, not the easiest to deal with, and kind of messes up being able to talk to you guys. So, yeah, it's something that we're going to have to fix, but it might take a bit of time. This is shocking to know. Is that a pun, Gruntle? Is it still beta? Yes, so Irium is in beta, and currently all of the talents on there are founding streamers. So as I showed before with my storytelling, Miria and Shirasu, who run Irium, I was able to get accepted after sending in an application, and I am one of Irium's founding streamers. And eventually, Irium will be open to more people, but for now, we are sort of helping develop the platform. After mentioning Hamtaro, the theme song is now playing in my mind rent-free. I heard that they were taking some applications currently. Yeah, they are. The applications are open if you do want to check them out. I don't have the link here because I am mainly sponsoring myself, right? I am my own streamer. But yeah, if you want to look into that, I believe that it is still open on their website. I'm also trying to sort of develop my story and meet more stargazers and create my community as well. Send a hammer to the Thunderbird so he doesn't get in the way next time. I'm a cat girl, I can take care of the birds, I got claws. Astra, this is a large bird. I don't know, I think you came in after I shared this bird, but this is a large bird. It is a formidable foe. I feel like the equivalent would be a Meowth going against a Zapdos. But yeah, so, going back to what I was saying, I definitely do want to play Hamtaro. And I'm really into puzzle games. I feel like a lot of people don't know what I play because I've never been able to share it, right? But I love puzzle games, and I love being able to, sort of problem solve. And I feel like doing that on stream makes a lot of sense because then I can ask a lot of you guys, you know, we can work together, right? It could be very interactive. We can sort of work together and try to figure things out together. This will be something where, like, we're not backseating. We're working as a team. And I think that would be a really good way to have a form of working together that's really interactive. This sparks joy. I'm glad to hear. If I'm weak to electricity, why do we get along? I'm the exact opposite of magic, electric and steel. Very, very true. Very true. I feel like we're sort of a maybe like a like a yin and yang thing, or like a fox and the hound thing, right? Like, type wise, yeah, you would be able to destroy me. But, you know, we're working together, and it's not just our types that define us, right? Going back to the Mewtwo quote. It's not what you do with the gift of life, it's not how you're born, it's what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are. Soldier Robo stream when? Someday, Grendel. It's on my list, actually. It is absolutely on my list. I really, really, really want to stream that. It's just going to be later down the road because that is more action-packed, and I'm still trying to get used to how this whole thing works. So we're gonna be doing games where I can pay a little bit more attention to stargazers in the beginning. Do I need to go Aru Wu like Copper? Teamwork makes the dream work. Exactly, yeah. I'd probably be normal fighting. I could see that, yeah. If Sea Hero is a superhero, that makes sense. Give me a Poke typing, please. Grendel, you're like straight up ghost psychic. I don't know why that's a surprise. That one's really clear to me. Like, you're absolutely ghost psychic. That just makes you two a good team who covers each other's weaknesses? Yeah, exactly. Ghost dark? Ah, right, yeah. Well, okay, you know what it would be? You would be retyped based on generation, right? Like, if you were from Kanto, you would be Ghost Psychic, and then you would get retyped once you entered, like, Johto and Hoenn. And then everyone would know you as Ghost Dark, but you would have started as Ghost Psychic, and you still have, like, a lot of psychic moves. But your official typing would be Ghost Dark. I think I'd probably just be straight dark. Actually, yeah, I do feel like that's actually fitting. A pure dark type. Since I'm Meowth, I'm normal type, and I'm from New Jersey, apparently. Oh my gosh, does anyone know, like, the story of how Meowth came to speak? Because it's actually really sad. I don't know if anyone knows this, anyone who follows the anime, but Meowth was actually a normal Meowth that, you know, just said its own name like a normal Pokemon, and it was trying to impress a female Meowth. So, go west, young Meowth. Yes, exactly. And it thought that the best way to impress this female Meowth that it had a crush on would be to learn to speak human, because the female Meowth, right, she was always hanging around humans. She always loved the luxurious and fancy things in life, and she loved her owner, and then Meowth was like, if I can speak like one of them, then she'll like me too. And there's like this whole montage, and he went through all the hard work to learn how to actually speak like a human. And then the female Meowth was freaked out and disturbed by it, and rejected him. And then I feel like that's when he joined Team Rocket, and then he was like, I don't know what else to do with my life. I wasted my whole life trying to learn this, trying to impress this girl. And then she falls in love with a Persian. And then they end up in, like, this Persian Meowth gang, I think, if I remember correctly. I don't know why I remember the name of that episode all these years later. Yeah. Meowth got his villain arc. True. No good deed goes unpunished. It's been so long since you streamed on Twitch. Taki, hello! Welcome! Welcome in! It's lovely to see you! Hello again! Oh my goodness. Making sure I'm not missing anything. Do the thing where you smile and look down so your ears flatten out so everyone can see. You are a goofessa. Making sure I'm like learning how to stream again. I'm learning how to keep up with chat again. Eventually he falls in love with a Skitty but finds out it's male. Aww. Poor Meowth just can't win. I feel bad for Meowth. I feel like, oh man, all of the main Team Rocket, Jessie, James, and Meowth, they all have such tragic backstories, and it's kind of really amazing that the Pokemon Company did that, because their stories are all so much deeper than the main characters. Talking Meowth is a cultural treasure. Absolutely, yeah. Thank you so much, Taki. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. 3,000 point Meowth for the commitment. You missed the important thing in relationships. Be yourself first and foremost. Yeah, exactly. Do I ship Jessie and James? Hmm. Um, I'm not really sure. I don't really think so, honestly. I feel like they work better as, like, a tag team duo, but I don't really see them as, like, together, right? I think it's more like a found family thing. I feel like James could do better, to be honest. I mean, Vessa, do you know James's story? Because I wouldn't blame him for, like, never wanting to be with anyone ever again. I get a found family vibe from them for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And they care more about their Pokemon than, like, anyone else, right? I vaguely remember it, but it's been a long time. So basically, James is from a rich family, like crazy, crazy rich, crazy wealthy, right? And James's partner Pokemon was a Growlithe. And James was basically going to be like well, it's a rich family, right? So there was going to be an arranged marriage. And he was like, no, I don't want that. I want to be a Pokemon trainer with my Growlithe, and I want to travel the world and have lots of adventures with my Growlithe friend. And they were like, no, we are going to decide your fate, your future, and you're going to marry this girl. And the irony is that the girl is like, looks like Jessie, but like a rich girl version of Jessie, and she is insane. And she basically doesn't take no for an answer, and she's like, you will marry me, James. You don't have a choice in the matter. And he freaks out. He tries to run away from home, and it doesn't work. And she catches up with him again, and eventually he realizes that the only way to escape this situation is he has to leave his Growlithe behind, and he has to, like, go and abandon his whole family and his whole life, and he just sort of, like, was he the one that tried to join the... Did he try to join the biker gang, or was that Jessie? One of them did. But he does end up finding Jessie and realizes that she's not the same as the crazy southern girl, and they end up working together. But he basically ran away from home, and he knows that he can never go back home, because if he does go back home, he will be forced to marry this girl that he doesn't like. Growlithe is too good, yeah. He wants to go out into the world, PK2 crimes. Jessie was in the biker gang? Okay, I couldn't remember. I knew one of them was in the biker gang. I couldn't remember who. She was already accepted, though? James had training wheels on his bike. Yeah, oh my gosh. Kid James is so precious, honestly. Oh. This makes me wanna rewatch these episodes, like specifically these three. They're such an iconic trio. Honestly, they're so great. Who out of the three of them, who are your guys' favorite? I guess for Vessa it's James, and I don't blame them. I think James is probably my favorite as well. James. You know what episode I don't want to rewatch? The Butterfree episode? Yeah, very fair. Very fair. I don't blame you at all. I love James clearly. Meowth clearly. Grendel, you do look like you would get along well with Meowth. I feel like you guys would make good partners in crime. I like them all. I ship James with myself. I love the Meowth Impmon style of characters. I can tell, yeah. I feel like you would get along well with the gnomes in the forest. So maybe we can, like, send you out and try to create a peace treaty with them. Because they kind of have your look a little bit as well. So, Ambassador Grendel, yeah, we need an ambassador. I love Meowth too. I'm using his cosmetic stuff on Pokemon TCG Pocket. Oh yeah, that's super cute. The gnomes totally are third cousins of mine or so. Team Rocket, they could never make me hate you. Yeah. I feel like, what was I gonna say? Oh, with TCG Pocket. So for those of you who don't know, I think this is a really cool fact. So Irium, right? The company, the parent company of Irium is, Dana. Or Dina. I don't actually know how to pronounce it, to be honest. But, I'm just gonna say Dana until I know correctly. But Dana is also the company that did Pokemon TCG Pocket. So Irium and Pokemon TCG Pocket are under the same parent company. So you could basically say that we work alongside TCG Pocket. How is it spelled? D-E-N-A. Yeah, I don't know, because it's Japanese, so I don't actually know how you would pronounce it. How would you react if you were featured in a Pokemon episode and Brock inevitably fell in love with you? Oh, jeez. I feel like most girls that he tries that with, right? Kind of like not really interested, I suppose. I mean, I would probably hope that Misty sort of saves me from the awkward situation, to be honest. Also, hello, K-pop, welcome in. I hope you are having a lovely day. Use your big connections to get your art into the game. I would love that someday. That would be really cool. I'm still waiting to get my favorite Pokemon on it. Astra, who's your favorite Pokemon? I feel like it's gotta be a cat Pokemon, right? Like, I don't know. When I think of... Oh, Chikorita? Is there a card of Chikorita? I can't recall seeing a card of Chikorita yet. But yeah, I do love Chikorita. Why do women not like Brock? He's handsome, a gentleman, very intelligent. Who else would invent a drying pan out of a frying pan? Man's a genius. He's gonna be on Shark Tank one day. I mean... They'd probably like him if they got to know him. It's probably more the case of, like, strange man with a bunch of traveling companions professes his love to you and asks to marry you. I think anyone would be a little bit turned off by that. But I mean, like, if he just lived in your town and you just got to know him, then I'm sure he'd be able to find someone, but he decided to leave on a journey. So he didn't get to, like, stay and meet the people in his town, and then he just gets, like, awestruck with every girl he meets, and he doesn't seem serious to anyone. And I'm sure he could be, but if you just profess your love to the first girl you see, that's not gonna end well. I think one girl was interested, and it was when he left for a while. Yeah, I see you still being polite about the rejection. Some girls gave him the straight-up Johnny Bravo treatment. Brock's tactic is too rushed. Yeah, exactly. Also remember, he straight up goes to a random woman he doesn't know. Exactly, yeah. Exactly. He knows nothing about them. It's just like, it's literal love at first sight, but you don't know anything about them, or if they even already have a boyfriend. You gotta make them foundational connections before you can date someone. Exactly. Desperation is a universal turnoff. Has there ever been an episode where, like, he professes his love to a girl, and then her boyfriend shows up? Because I feel like that would have happened at some point. I like Brock, don't get me wrong, he seems a bit flaky. He's like, he is, like, really good with children and really good with Pokemon, and I'm sure he would, like, be a really great person, but yeah, his approach is not good. I honestly didn't even know this was your re-debut. I was like, oh, Starlight, I've been meaning to DM her, let's just check Twitch. It's kind of like a scuffed re-debut, right? It's like, so much went wrong, and so many different things happened, and so many things aren't ready. But it's like, I really wanted to get back into this and reintroduce myself to you guys and talk to you again and be able to get back into streaming. Brock needs an episode where the same happens to him and he has an "oh, that's why this never works" moment. Oh my gosh. I'd be shocked if they haven't done that, honestly. I feel like it would be like some little kid, like a little kid crush, right? And then he'd be like, "Oh, this is really annoying." Frontier Brian, Pike, Queen Lucy fell in love with Brock? I don't remember. Frontier. Okay, so Frontier, that would be like Hoenn? I haven't seen everything from Hoenn. Have I ever read the manga for Pokemon? I've read a few of them, yeah. It's definitely different, for sure. I know next to nothing about Pokemon, but my favorite is still Mimikyu. I mean, it's the king in yellow Pokemon. How can I resist? I want an episode where Nerd Girl gets super obsessed with him and kind of reverse Unos it and creeps him out. Yeah. How come I'm back on Twitch? I'm so happy you're back. So, I have been, I've been away for almost a year. I have been, really trying to rediscover a lot about myself and a lot about, like, what I wanted, as a streamer, as a VTuber, as a content creator, as an artist, and just, like, sort of just, like, as myself, right? I've been trying to do, a lot of, I guess self-discovery. You know, I had this, this backstory that I was telling you guys about landing in Illusionari, but even after landing in Illusionari and meeting so many of the Stargazers, I was still having a lot of feelings of doubt and inadequacy and not really knowing where I was going with things. And, that breeds negative feelings, right? That creates sort of this, negative, outlook and mantra and not really knowing where you're going in life. And that's why this Thunderbird thought that I was the problem, right? They said I had magic of malice, of desperation and frustration. And it's like, I'm trying to go through my path, and it's not easy. But yeah, I think a lot of it has been self-discovery. I was saying earlier, like, for those of you who know that I've pretty much only done art, every time I've streamed, aside from, like, the 2 times that I did presentations because I couldn't do art, like, I physically could not do art, that kind of gave me a wake-up call. That kind of gave me a wake-up call of, like, I can't keep doing the same thing over and over and feel like I'm running out of steam. So I felt like I needed to change things up, and I needed to sort of reinvent myself and find a new path and a new avenue. And I haven't been really that open with things, in all honesty. I've sort of been keeping that a lot to myself and being a little bit embarrassed by it. But yeah, last fall, when I sort of went through all of those situations, I kind of got to thinking, like, I can't just depend on one thing. I can't just have one thing that defines me. And no one can, right? Everyone needs something that is more open-ended and flexible. Everyone needs something that can bring them joy in multiple ways. So I was thinking, okay, you know, art and spellwork is my entire life. What else is there? Let me just catch up here. Wanting to get back into streaming too, but now I'm sick. I've been pushing myself recently. I might have caught something when visiting a family member. In the hospital, either way, it hurts to talk due to sore throat. I hope you feel better, Geekish. You've been away for a while, partially because of the self-discovery aspect, but let's not ignore the creating such a beautiful model by yourself also isn't a quick endeavor, so be proud of that too. Yeah, that's true, that's true. Happy you're finding yourself now, though. You seem more cheerful for sure. I'm glad. Don't be, I'm feeling the same way right now myself. Definitely not alone. It's hard, right? Like, I think there's a few things I realized, right? One is that I wanted to be a little bit more true to myself, a little bit more open, right? I still like being the fox that is happy and positive and creates a positive environment, but I also want to try being a little bit more real, instead of sort of hiding everything. That doesn't mean, like, you know, venting for hours on end or anything, or creating that kind of environment, but just sort of, like, being open and then figuring out directions to move forward with it. I think creatives are so introspective that it makes the career different from others in a unique way. Definitely, definitely. Real star, best star, you're an incredible art master and that fits. Thank you, Grendel. And I feel like, I can't remember if I've talked about this in the past. But one of the things that I definitely realized is as a creative, I felt like I had been hiding behind my work, in a way. I love VTubing. I love presenting myself in this way to everybody. And I feel like what I had before, this sort of like dream sequence of this scared child almost, it was almost like hiding behind the work and not being a VTuber. And I know that seems a bit strange, and this isn't like a PNG versus Live 2D thing. This is a matter of how you work with what you have. And I felt like I could not explore who I was in the way that I needed to be. I felt like that my way of expression needed to be a certain way, and I didn't feel like myself. I felt like I was... How do I explain this? I'm trying to find the right words. People know that I primarily have been an animal artist. I mean, I'm a fox. In Australia, I was only a fox, right? There's all of these kitsune that can take on different forms as they grow their tails, and I could not. And animals and mythical creatures are sort of all I knew. This whole dive into humans and VTubers is still relatively new for me. I had a little bit of it on and off in my life, but coming back to it was extremely different and extremely new, right? I had some of those beginner avenues into VTubers and anime, mainly anime actually at that time. VTubing and interacting with you guys wasn't really a thing yet. I hadn't really discovered that side until VTubing came around again. And I was really, really, really behind. At some point, we're gonna do like a, we'll do a few like, before and after drawing stuff, right? The way that I had presented myself in this dream sequence, I mean, you could even tell, in this design, right? It was very closed off, it was very sheltered, it was very scared, it didn't know what it was doing, I didn't know what I was doing, and I was afraid to be very open, and that came across in the clothing. Like, the clothing of who I was somebody who was scared and shut out and nervous. So this new form that I'm taking now is sort of a symbolism of being more open to everybody, right? I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm trying to explain it the best I can. My visual appearance is literally more open and less sheltered and less closed off. And that was something I felt I really needed, because that was going to help me elevate from being an artist who hid behind their illustration into a VTuber who had illustrations that they could show, right? So it's a matter of what comes first, your work or yourself. And as I went through this long journey, I realized that I didn't want the work to say everything that I could say myself too. I think that was really the main important part, is I didn't feel like anyone was knowing me as much because I really couldn't be out there as much, right? I mean, okay, let's just start it off like from this point, right? We've been chatting for over an hour. I didn't used to do this. I didn't used to just talk with you guys and see what you had to say. I would just like, I would talk for a bit, ask how you guys were doing, and then just jump straight into the art, and then just focus on the art. And that was it. And I would have a few pieces to show, and then I would go live and I would do more art, and we would do a lot of art challenges. But I was never really expressing myself, like, as a VTuber and as a being. And that's when I was thinking, like, I need to find a way outside of the spellbook. I need to step out of I need to step out of the canvas, and I need to be able to be multiple things for multiple people. So whether that's being able to talk with people one-on-one, like here, or on Irium, in all honesty, this kind of just chatting length is probably something that will be mainly on Irium, because I can only do so much. And then also being able to, like, talk and share stories in the form of games and exploring those adventures, right? That's something that's also not art. So, it's weird, right? I've always been very against the idea of being a variety VTuber, quote-unquote. But I feel like sometimes we need to be. I feel like sometimes, you can have your niche, and you can be known for something, and you can be known for mainly focusing in that one thing. But if it's all you have, and then you lose that, then you're a little bit stuck. And I feel like that was the main thing, is I was starting to feel really stuck. I was starting to feel like, if I'm dealing with some sort of, like, physical frustration, right? And I can't draw, what else do I have? That's when I was like, you know what? Something like Irium would be perfect. Something like being more open and learning to play games would be perfect. And that's basically what happened, is sort of this evolution of, the Atelier is, in name, Atelier means studio. It usually means art studio. It usually means some form of creative place where you go and make art. But the Atelier is more like a manor. The Atelier has so many different rooms and places, right? We've got a library, we've got a cafe, we've got we have an observatory, there's a garden, there's so much more. We're not all just one type of person. We need variety, right? Variety is the spice of life, as they say. So that is kind of a bit of the self-discovery that I went on over the span of a year. And then on top of that, this form that you see before you was, I think, as best I mentioned before, definitely not easy. This is all my own work, but that also means that we have more opportunities now than ever, right? There's so many more there's so many more skill sets that this brings about. There's so much more variety that this can create, right? You guys know that I love making assets. Well, what if I'm able to make assets that can move? What if I'm able to, create tea with steam? Or I love bringing mascots to life. What if I can actually bring them to life, like how I am? So it's a whole new skill set that took a long time to learn, to be honest. But we have it now. We have this skill set that can now lead to a lot of different evolution, and I can sort of be my own creator in a way. That's what it means as a VTuber. I am self-incarnated. This is a self-incarnation and a self-discovery and a whole new exploration of learning, right? So that's basically what this has been. Let me just catch up on chat real fast. Let me make sure that I'm not forgetting anyone here. Creativity seems at times to create a sort of black spiral where every achievement is not good enough, being good at something is limiting, and reinvention has to be consistent or it feels stale. It makes it sound like there will never be any contentment or happiness. Your soul is bursting with creativity. Yeah, that's very true. It's kind of like a, what do they call it? Not that you're never satisfied. What do they call it? Like, it's not a, like an oxymoron, I guess? Is that the right word? Like, in order to have that creativity and contentment, you'll never be content. If you are creative, if you're making things, if you are exploring new things, you will be happy, but you will never be satisfied, if that makes sense. This is the same way for me. That's why I chose a skirt in my design, because I never wear skirts, so I wanted to try something different to encourage myself. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, I never ended up even showing you my full design, did I? We're gonna have to do that, because yeah, that's another thing, right? My dream self wore pants. I'm not wearing pants. I am trying something new, and I've never worn a dress, right? But I feel like this is a better way to express myself. So we'll show that off in just a bit. I'm excited about that too. That has also helped me understand a lot about character design in general. You know, picking your own clothes and developing that over time, it definitely helps you learn about how others do the same. Now that I think about it, I think you were pretty closed off, even when we had the past interactions. Now you're definitely less sheltered. Yeah, I don't doubt that, honestly. I've been, like... I went through a time where I was just super, super unconfident, and it's not perfect. I'm still working on it. But I think that this is a huge step forward. You did chat for quite a while, although distracted from art you would try to do. Yeah. Let me make sure here. Atelier, I was wondering this entire time what the word was. Is that the English pronunciation? So atelier is actually a French word. I believe it's French. I'm gonna be embarrassed if I have that wrong. But it basically means an art studio. But in our case, it's a lot more than an art studio. It's a home for stargazers. And, you know, for everyone who wants to stop by. You learned a whole new, super difficult and in-demand skill to make this happen. That is no small feat. Yeah, thank you. When I'm a hugely popular writing streamer, I'm 1000% joking. I'll pay you to make me a mascot. This part less joking. That'd be cool for real. I feel like that people can get a lot out of mascots. Even if they, like, don't immediately make merch or anything, I think there's a lot of benefits to a mascot. Even just to, like, you know, fans can interact with a mascot easier, or they can see themselves in a mascot. There's a lot to it, right? Like, I wanna be able to bring Prism back here again. She's very busy lately. I don't think it's gonna happen for quite some time. But Prism, for instance, I feel like she can bring a lot of joy to people. I'm excited to bring her back at some point in the future. Double-edged sword. Yeah, I guess double-edged sword makes sense for that. It's like double-edged sword, oxymoron. I feel like there's another word where it's like you get something, not self-sacrifice. I'm not really sure what it is. It's not, I don't know. I'm stumbling over the words. Creativity never settles. Yeah. Would I ever do background illustration commissions? Maybe at some point. Disclaimer, this is not mine. The Sakura that you see here. This was built by somebody else. I cannot build terraces. I don't have that kind of handiwork. We built a little bit of the Atelier, but the terrace is not mine, and the trees were here when we got here. I'm going to need to put those credits in the stream later. But this is not my background work. I really wish it was. I would love to do backgrounds at some point, though. It's a skill that I want to learn, but it's a completely different way of working. As you can see, there's no lines anywhere here. It's a very, very different skill set. Dresses are great. Yeah. I have done background work for a few people. But after seeing a lot of different backgrounds, I feel like I would need to take a upgraded approach. The people who I did do the backgrounds for, I do still think that they're pretty good. But I feel like I need more examples before I can open again. Prism is in a cake-fueled coma. No, she's traveling around Lucinari right now. She knows where it is to stay safe. But she's sort of trying to help talk to some people after all of the events that we've had. Paradox? Wait, is it paradox? Yes, paradox. Thank you. I knew there was a word for it. Yes, it's paradoxical. There we go. Thank you. You drew the previous one, right? The night sky with the shooting stars? Yes, that is my work. We will head back over there in just a bit, actually. And then you can sort of see the a little one, but I thought it'd be fun. More Starlight is more time spent in cozy conversation with nice people. I'm glad you feel that way. That makes me happy. I'm working on a background illustration right now and I hate it. Background illustration is a beast. It is a whole different approach to working. If you are used to drawing characters... Okay. I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tangent just because I feel like this makes a good tangent. If you are used to drawing characters, whether that is human or animal or otherwise, backgrounds are a completely different way of working, honestly. Backgrounds are... If you do it correctly, if you want it to look like an anime background, it is a completely different technique entirely. I feel like Lady Red could probably attest to this, although her backgrounds are a little bit more looking like the characters because she does a lot of line art to match with them. But if you're doing something like an anime background, or like what's behind me here, right? It's a completely different approach. You're not using any lines. You have to be really good at painting. You have to be really good at painting. You have to be really good at brush strokes. And you have to be really good at alluding to detail. And this is really hard for people. Like, you can see behind me with these sakura trees, not every petal is painted, right? It's a very abstract way of working for something organic. And then something like this table here in front of me, right? This has to be very specific. This has to be very architectural. It has to be very accurate. So you've got two things working against you, right? You have to do line artless, accurate architecture, and then you have to do abstract, painterly nature. So a lot of people who are not used to doing backgrounds, they get very confused because they try to approach it in the exact same way that they draw a human or an animal or a VTuber, and they don't really realize that they sort of have to switch their brain to a completely different way of working that comes off as more either like industrial design or like Renaissance painting. And it's, depending on which way you go, they're both really, really different, right? You either have to be really good at design sketching, as if you were doing like architecture, or you have to be really good at fine arts painterly. And then for something like this, and Arteris, you have to be good at both. And a lot of people aren't typically trained in one or the other, and they normally do things that are all character-based, and then when they end up having to do a background, they get a little bit stuck. So, I have not trained in backgrounds as much as other people have, but that is why you have background artists. And then the difference is that people who normally do backgrounds are known for it. They're either really, really good at the technical detail, that industrial design drawing, or they're really, really good at that impressionistic, painterly nature way. And then they have a lot of hard time drawing people and animals, because then they have to learn all of this anatomy, and they have to learn things with facial expressions, and they're not really used to that. So that's how you end up getting a lot of people specializing. How close or far are we from getting Goth Starlight as an alternative color palette? Why on earth, Grendel? Why? I don't see that happening anytime soon. Meanwhile, I'm starting over on my art journey and going back to basics. I'll make a straight line someday. Astra, you know that you are always welcome into the studio area of the Atelier, and we're always more than happy to help you, and I do have a lot of practices for that kind of thing. I know it sounds silly, like everyone should be able to draw a straight line. It's harder than most people think. You know, it is something you have to train for. Your hand is not naturally steady for a straight line. It's something you have to practice over and over again. This is why I'm more confident in my return to pottery than drawing and painting. Pottery is a whole different set of skills. Backgrounds bring me much despair. Thank the gods for impressionistic. I find impressionism a lot more fun to do backgrounds in, but that's just me. Yeah, personally, I like doing nature-based backgrounds. I do have some pieces where I do end up having to do architectural work, and then that's where also being an asset artist comes in. That's a great way of explaining why there's such a discrepancy. Yeah, a lot of people also, like, they're not used to talking to the other side, right? They don't normally talk to background artists. But if you're in a place, like, if you're in an art school, you're going to talk to people of all different disciplines, so you're going to see the different points of view. Or if you worked at a game studio, for instance, you're going to talk to all different types of people. I love the idea of goth Starlight. No, Lady Red, stop it. Grendel is absolutely a gremlin. We'll definitely be asking questions soon. Yeah, absolutely. Also, I've been talking about the Atelier nonstop. Hopefully my Discord link still works. If you haven't joined and you do !Discord, you can join in the Atelier, and while I'm not 100% focused on directly teaching as much as I used to, in terms of, like, complete one-on-one, I do want it to still be a place where I can help you guys learn and grow. And you guys, who are starting to learn all of these things too, you can help each other, right? It's not to say I'm completely abandoning you, but in terms of expanding what I'm doing, that sort of makes it so I can't be as one-on-one for everybody all the time. But it's still absolutely a creative place to talk and share the art journey and work together. I'm ordinarily capable of drawing backgrounds, but drawing backgrounds make me feel like a beginner again. Yeah, I understand that completely, honestly. It took me years to get good at line work as I am. It's not easy or quick. Yeah, exactly. Starlight makes a trip to Hot Top. No, guys, stop it with a goth idea. Where are you even getting that from? If you ever want to talk about it, Astra, hit me up. Yeah, Lady Red is really great. As someone who did a lot of the fundamentals training very recently using a very reputable course, Lady Red is also a very good person to talk to. Starlight dressed in Starlight. Have I ever listened to Impressionist classical music from the same time period? It's amazing how it reflects the artistic traits of painted Impressionism so well. I'm not entirely sure. I have done assignments where I've had to, like, paint based on the music I'm hearing, and I think a lot of those were impressionistic, so I might know what you're talking about, but I'm not 100% sure. Thank you, Vesta, for pointing out the Discord. I appreciate it greatly. I'll draw a strawberry shortcake cat. It's an idea in my head, and a friend was sweet to make a cute version, but this idea is funnily bizarre. The link still works. Good! I didn't break it! I feel like I broke so many things, so I'm really glad I didn't break this. I do also love to spend entirely unreasonable amounts of hours losing myself in landscape art, but that's very different from making a background for character art. Yeah, that's true. Galaxy You know, it's really funny that you guys keep saying, like, Galaxy and Starlight in terms of, like, the aesthetic, because it's very hard when you talk about, like, your name and the things that you like. It's strange that most people always default to, like, very, very, very dark colors, but Starlight as a noun is very bright, and yet it always defaults to, like, really, like, the night sky, right? And I feel like there's a lot more than just the night sky. I mean, I've got it on my capelet, but there's a lot more variety to it. But I find it funny that that the aesthetic always sort of goes one way. Reject teaching art, embrace plain ham-hams. Perhaps tutorial of offline videos could be a super herb idea. I do want to, get more into tutorial making in the future, but I don't want to do as much fundamentals because I feel like a lot of those have been done, unless there's anything, like, very specific that you guys want to see. A lot of the tutorials I want to make in the future are concept and design focused, and I feel like it also applies to more people as well. But, I don't know, that's something we can talk about in the future, I think. I like talking art, happy to share what I know in the atelier. Yeah. I will learn how to draw well specifically to draw Starlight and got the tire. Gosh, Grendel, you are a gremlin! Strawberry shortcake cat will be real, yeah. I'm going to have to learn how to draw food and cat, which sounds like a great time. I can definitely help you on the strawberry shortcake part. You've got it right in front of you here. Aurelia, hello, welcome in. Oh wait, you were here earlier, right? I don't know, I feel like I'm going crazy. I'm not good at keeping up anymore. But hello either way. I love how chat can get hold of an idea and start fixating on it to the occasional distress of the VTuber. Yeah, no kidding. I want Starlight fan art of the meme. I can be your angle or your devil. Ah! You guys are crazy. Amongst the streamers, part of the fun. Aurora Borealis at this time of year in this part of the country, localized entirely within your capelet. It can only happen if you make it happen. Oh my goodness. Alright, you know what? Actually, that is something that I want to... That is something I want to show off as well here. Why don't we actually go to our... Make sure I'm in the right location here, because I still don't know how things work. Are we good here? Are we... Yeah, come on. There we go. Ugh. Travel is not as clean as it usually is. Does the cafe do fancy coffee too? Possibly. Possibly. It might be something that we have to expand the menu on. I would spend too much time at the cafe, I realized. Alright. Let me see if I can get this going here real quick. I want to see if I can, show off a little bit, right? Because most debuts start with showing off the whole design of what someone looks like. And because I've been on Earium and sharing off what I looked like, I didn't really find a need for that. But, a lot of you guys have not seen the full design. So, I do want to show off, the capelet a little bit here, because I think that this is really interesting. I'm gonna try standing still for a minute. So the Aurora actually moves on its own. The Aurora, I guess you could say the Aurora has a mind of its own. But the Aurora actually, shifts and sways. Like, it's got a little bit of that curtain movement, you know? I'd like my Stargazer self to brew rose tea and indulgent coffee to earn her right to spend all the rest of her time in the library. There you go. I knew it was an Aurora? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's my main thing, right? Auroras and rainbows. And then, I don't think you guys are familiar with this, but this is actually a deck case. So, before, you might have seen that I was holding a spell book, and I do still have the spell book, and now I can make it small enough to fit in the deck case. But the deck case normally has, well, what you'd expect in the deck case usually has cards. I've learned to channel a lot of my spell work into cards. None of them are ready to show yet. I'm hoping that'll be something in the future. But, it's kind of like tarot cards. It's a little bit like tarot cards. It's a little bit of its own thing. I actually have a few varieties of cards. But yeah, this deck case contains a lot of cards, and thank you for talking about the effect. This was so hard to get right, but I'm really happy about it, having, like, this, the full case showing off here. I definitely want to be able to showcase that a little. And then, what else here? I do sort of have, like, these, what would you call these? Arm bracers. So these are sort of metal with gold fabric, and just offers a little bit more protection. You know, I didn't really have any form of armor or self-defense before, so, you know, a little bit of a, I guess like a Wonder Woman inspired thing, if you will. Kasuri Renan, hello, welcome in. Love the new look, thank you, I appreciate it. I love that the stars move on the dress, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot going on now, it's really exciting. And then, I've got a little bit of a dress design here going on. It's sort of like, let's see if I can, it's a white dress with an overskirt, so the skirt part where my belt is attached is actually not the full dress, it's kind of its own standalone piece. I love the diamond chain on the other side, thank you. My headcanon is now that the deck case actually secretly contains snacks. No. Well, I mean, maybe if there's, like, if some of the cards have recipes, does that count? It's clear you put a lot of thought and effort into each element of this, it's so good. Thank you! That is a future, video I do want to make, is sort of like how we got to all of this, because it is a long time coming. But yeah, I'm actually wearing a dress. And, the skirt is, split down the middle, and that's so my tail can show through. Because it's really hard to get through your tail through both a dress and a skirt. So I figured if I could just get it through the dress, then the skirt can sort of be more open and it works. And then there is a bit of a sort of Aurora starburst look at the bottom. And then most people have not seen my shoes, but I have something a little bit more fancier than winter boots. And yes, I do have the floppy tail. I'm really happy with this tail. This is a fun tail. You can just twist the tail around a leg. The skirt is so pretty. Thank you, I appreciate it. The cards are not edible. Any fan artists here get to work. Oh, I need to make sure that I have my updated reference in the Discord. I think I do. I made it, I have a separate piece for the collar because my hair is hiding it, so I think it was confusing people. I'll have to check if I updated that or not. I can't remember now. The frills are masterfully drawn. Thank you. Those were very difficult. Yeah, and then, I'm not really great with asymmetry. I never have been, but I have a little bit of asymmetry on my ankle with the bow, and, a little bit of asymmetry with the belt. I'm not great with asymmetry, but yeah. And then if you can see, like, the full tail, you can see that it's the same tail that I had in terms of design. A little hard to see the whole thing, but hopefully you can. And then eventually, I'll be able to, move a little bit more fluidly. I actually had to arrange myself very specifically, to be able to talk on Irium. So eventually we will have, tweaks and updates as we go along, right? And then this is sort of the whole thing. And you can sort of see how everything goes together, right? So as I said, like, it's a white dress with long sleeves, and then halfway down the sleeves, it's a sheer bell sleeve. And then, the skirt is a standalone piece that goes over the belt, and I am fully rainbow. My whole aesthetic, my whole being, my whole identity is very rainbow. But yeah. So, I'm excited about it. It's a whole new me, it's a whole new exploration of things. Just a kiss of asymmetry, yeah, exactly. The funny thing is that until now, I thought the tail was extremely long braid. Because the only part that's visible is the tip most of the time. It's not a braid, no. I am a fox and it is a foxtail. You like my nails? Thank you, I appreciate it. It's kind of a, my nails are a moonstone, sort of like a, aura quartz moonstone. And that's how my claws are in my fox form as well. You did it, you figured out the rainbow, right? Yeah, it's like, it's there, but it's not like crazy overwhelming. I don't look like a mess of Crayola. That was my main thing, right? I knew I didn't want to look like Crayola. I was very specific and concerned about that. I'm like, I don't want to come off as Crayola. And I thought, like, okay, even though I love Lisa Frank, I thought that Lisa Frank would also be a little bit too far. So I really toned it down and leaned more into my crystalline nature. It's subtly rainbow, which is not easy to pull off. Most rainbow designs tend to be a sugar rush of color assault, which can work in certain contexts, but you pulled it off in a more harmonious way. Thank you! You're very right. Most rainbows tend to be a little bit of a sugar rush look, and it is genuinely hard to pull off a subtle rainbow. This took so much revisiting. Someday I will be able to show that revisiting. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. You didn't want to be a sparkle dog? I feel like I'm enough of a sparkle dog, honestly. The fact that my fur is blue already makes me a sparkle dog. Or sparkle fox, I suppose. I am every color. Yes, I am every color. A mess of Crayola. Yes. I remember us talking about how to incorporate the rainbow. I'm very happy you were able to figure it out. Thank you, Kasuri. I appreciate it. Or, sorry, Renan. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to always know if someone is taking, the Japanese name or not. But thank you, Renan. I appreciate it. If I were Crayola, I'd have the secret urge to try and eat the colors. Vanillion, hello! Welcome in, welcome in! Oh my goodness, hello, hello! I'm so happy to be able to catch the stream. I am gonna probably wrap it up soon, but I'm very happy that you get to see, like, the full design in all of its glory. If any of you came here, a little bit later, I do have the VOD that's gonna stay up. Because I did go a little bit talking about sort of where I've been, what I've been doing, how I've been feeling, if you're at all curious. You know what you remind me of with the rainbow, the magic, and the night sky? Neon cats! Oh no! I'm so happy to be able to catch a stream. I appreciate you being here, Vanillion. Thank you! Neon Cat and me go way back in the cat village. Question is, can we eat the diamond belt? It's not rock candy, if that's what you're thinking. I gotta go, but it was a lovely stream. Have a great time, every Neon. Thank you, Taki. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. The comic page of the lore stuff was cool. Thank you. Gotta be watching the VOD? Awesome. I'm really happy to hear. When you end the stream, we got a raid. Don't you be shy. Oh, Grendel. I don't know how to raid. I don't know how to raid. I will try. I don't know how, though. I need to rewatch this because I've been lurking while working. That's totally fair, yeah. The one other thing that I wanna show... What do you mean it's not rock candy? Cancel, the worst debut ever. Renan, I already had the worst debut. This is re-debut. This is re-debut redo 2.0. Streamer dashboard and select the parachute icon. Marks, hello, hello! Thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Welcome in, welcome in. The other methods don't work. I will do my best. I never know how to, like, raid and then end. It's the order that throws me up. I've never been able to figure out the order, and no one's made a video on it. So... Re-debut 2, Electric Mord re-debut. Honestly, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't even have, Twitch open, because that's, like, not how I usually work, but I will try for you guys. But the one other thing that I want to show, if I can here, let's see if this will work. Please work. Alright, thank you. So, obviously, obviously, I can't just go from nothing to this, right? There has to be some sort of, evolution that is not just, you know, from scared little, closed-off creature, to what I'm doing now. So, as such, this was not my first spell work. This was a long time coming. You know, you can't just learn spells once, you have to practice, right? So, do you want to see my first attempt at trying to regain a human form? Because not all spells always work the first time around. But I mastered this so that I can go back to it if I ever need to. I want to show you guys something fun. Hello! Hello! This was my first foray into trying to figure out the spell work. Not all spells work perfectly the first time around. Clearly. An IRL revealed, I can't believe it. No, this is not IRL. This is like Naruto trying to do the first Shadow Clone Jutsu. Time to turn you into a marketable plushie. You were a fox slime with wings all this time. No, this is like complete, like, this is failed spell work. But I thought you guys would still find it amusing, honestly. What do you mean it's perfect? I just thought it would be funny. I thought it would be fun to show off. But yeah. This is sort of like, you know, we can't come from nothing. We can't just automatically have full human form, right? So this was the training arc, I guess is the best way to say it. I am even more gorgeous in this form. I am posting my horrible attempt at drawing cats in Discord to show fail. No. Astra, we are going to get you to be a master cat artist, I swear. This should be the game stream model sometimes if it fits. It might be fun, honestly. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to just show this off in debut, right? This is true Ultra Instinct. If we boop the star in this form, does it also transform you into something random? I don't think so. I have a truly excellent plan. We should base the avatars of the Stargazers off this feature. No, the Stargazers, they do have their own, they do have their own sort of continuation. But, actually, yeah, I can show that to you guys if you want to see it. This is really adorable. Hello, Thorn. But I thought it'd be funny. I thought it'd be fun to show off. I knew that you guys would not expect it, so I wanted to throw it in as, like, a final surprise. I thought that would be funny. I'm amusing myself here. This is amazing. Thank you, Taka. Yeah, but I mean, like, that's the thing, right? Like, now that I've gotten better at this spell, now that I've gotten better at sort of this transformation work, we can We can keep learning how to do it. We can keep improving. We can keep going with it. We can do all kinds of new things. We can have all kinds of fun. No, that does not mean goth. You turn this into a plush, there goes my wallet. I'm like a squishmallow. We love it, even when it's a failure, it's great. Squishmallow Star Slime Glab. It would be fun, honestly. Jinx. It would be fun. I don't know if I would ever, get to that point, but it's an idea, right? At the very least, I feel like someday it would be possible to do a, what are those called? The keychain ones? Maju, I think? Maju? I forget what the name is. But, those squishy, keychains of anime characters' faces. I feel like could work. I want this in hat form? I am not a hat! Why would I be a hat? I would buy everything. A beanie bag would be, a bit strange. You would be sitting on my head. I'd buy everything, lol. Someday, I wanna have merch. Someone should make fan art of you as goth, like Cerise Fauna. Yeah, Fauna does have a goth look, doesn't she? Definitely need a mug. You guys are taking the slime form so literally, thinking that I could just, like, transform into any inanimate object you wanted. All I see is raindrop cake, must not eat streamer. I am not a cake either. I'm definitely not edible. No, guys, no goth, I swear. I don't understand that look anyway. I mean, okay, I have seen people who have, like, a really fun, like punk pop look, but I don't ever see myself being goth. I feel like goth has, like, usually way too heavy makeup, and I'm personally not a fan of, like, super heavy makeup at all, and I feel like a lot of goth goes in that direction. Do you know there's pastel goth? That's true. That's true. Me and Astra on the same wavelength. But, Lady Red, like, you're more, like, gothic, right? Like, gothic romantic, if I understand? Just got done putting dark purple eyeliner on myself. There's at least 5 different types of goth. Fair. My whole vibe is melodrama. Gothic Lolita has so much more. That's true. Like, there's a lot of different variations for sure. Red is more drama. Morigoth is also one that I love. What is Morigoth? Mori, Memento Mori, that means remember, right? It takes the Mori fashion style and makes it goth. Mori is more naturey. Oh, interesting. That sounds like a really interesting combo. That kind of sounds like a dark forest look, if I'm understanding correctly. Mori Calliope goth. Yeah, you know, it's funny, right? Because for those who don't know, Callie is like, definitely my Kami Oshi. I'm really, really, really inspired by her. But we have, like, the complete opposite aesthetic. I'm not normally into that kind of aesthetic at all whatsoever. But I love Callie. She's absolutely my Oshi. Oh, wait, I'm stupid. Mori is... No, what am I thinking of now? Isn't it, Isn't it forest? Is it one of those Japanese words where it means, like, so many different things? I didn't care for goth until I came across a character who was Genki Girl Goth. Like, did the sleeping in a coffin, carrying around a black parasol, makeup, and darkened hair, extremely happy, energetic, and cheerful. That sounds like, what's her name? Not Narissa. Shiori. That sounds like Shiori from Hololive. Kami Oshi Dual Thrones. Oshi is your favorite VTuber. You can have multiple Oshi. And Kami Oshi, Kami meaning God, God favorite, like your ultimate favorite of all time VTuber. So I have like different VTubers who I like, and then my Kami Oshi would be Mori Calliope. Callie, really? I wouldn't have guessed. I would bet Ina. I do love Ina. She's precious. I do really, really, really like Ina. Callie has been extremely inspirational to me as a fellow content creator. Her songs that go into talking about the struggles of content creation have really moved me and have, like, really helped me get through a lot of, so, like, I don't want to say this, like, so melodramatically, but yeah, her music has helped me get through tough times. But she's also, like, really fun to listen to and really inspiring, and she's very relaxing in a strange way, because you wouldn't think it, right? Like, based on how she looks and everything. But she's just, like, she just has the vibe of someone that you would, like, want to make proud. If that makes any sense. I don't know. I really like her. Yeah, she comes off, like, her design would totally throw you off. And, like, if you looked at me, you'd be like, Star, there's no way that she's your favorite. You guys have nothing in common. But she's been a really big inspiration to me. Especially through the VTubing journey. I have always had a dream to create my own Gothic Lolita dress, so I kind of researched this a lot, Astra. Astra, I feel like you could pull it off easier, because you sort of have, like, that, calm librarian look, but that also could lean into more of, like, a Gothic romantic look as well. Definitely easier than where I'm at. Moria's Forest, yeah. Okay, I thought so. I thought I was going crazy for a second. Grendel, you were goth in high school? Oh my god. Good old MySpace days! Oh no! Is it the song End of a Life? It's actually many songs. I mean, I really do like her classic ones. Red is probably one of my favorites. And then Off With Their Heads, which again, I know, like, knowing me, it doesn't sound like I would like a song called Off With Their Heads. But you have to understand that it's her way of talking about making it, okay? Like, the lyrics of that song is all about, struggling and having the resilience to keep going. Like, there's even a lyric that says, if you want a balanced following, start creating, stop tweeting. So it's all about, like, pushing through and continuing going, and if you want to follow your dreams, you're going to make the sacrifices that it takes. And it's like, it comes off as, like, a whole tough love type thing, but it's a really, really inspiring song. And then Red is sort of more like the struggles that she still goes through with content. And then one of the lines in that is, time will always, I'll always be a prisoner of my ambitions. So it's like not having enough time to do all of the amazing things that you want to do. After learning your favorite anime being fairly dark stuff in some of the games, you're like, I'm not surprised anymore. Yeah, I feel like I'm the definition of, like, I feel like, is there a trope with that name? Of, like, you don't like the way, you're into the things that don't match you at all. I mean, in real life, I didn't think about the model look. Nice. Yeah, exactly. It makes sense in as a contrast piece. Yeah. I've never heard of this person or these songs. Can you link it? I will definitely link it. You know what I'll do? I will throw them in the Discord after stream. And I'll just, like, I'll throw them in the media channel, and I have in the past thrown stuff in the inspiration channel. Mori's songs are amazing, yeah. And thank you for the... There we go. Thank you for the Discord, Vessa, I appreciate it. But yeah, Geekish, if you stop by the Discord, I will post those in there. Because I feel like those two are probably my favorite from her. From what Vessa said and what you said, you're like Junji Ito, the horror manga Arthur. Oh, is that like the meme where, like, he's wearing cat ears and he's being all super cutesy, and then it's contrasted with Hayao Miyazaki, who's, like, all dark and foreboding, but then he does, like, Totoro. Been struggling artist for a while, so Callie's songs have been super inspirational. Yeah, exactly, Vanillion, you totally get it. It's, like, it really... It's like, so inspiring and so moving. Oh, you know what? Also, she wrote, nonfiction, which is by far, my favorite group Hololive song. Nonfiction is performed by all of Hollow Myth, and she wrote the lyrics for it, and it is one of my favorite songs of all time. And I feel like Nonfiction is the most beautiful tribute to describing what VTubing is. So I will also link that. The first time I heard Nonfiction, I was sobbing. I'm not gonna lie. It's so good. I really want a Callie and Joji collab. Oh, yeah. Also, JJ dances. Hello, welcome in. I stopped by, I post some, of digital art I redid, and new art I made since it's been a while. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely follow the Discord link that Vessa shared. I'm now realizing that I don't think YouTube picked it up. If you're on the YouTube side, it should be in the video description. But if you're on the Twitch side, you can go follow the link. And I will try to be as active as I can in there. I want to try to be more active in the Discord in general. I want to be more active in general. It's been a year, guys. I need to get back into everything. What did you say Nonfiction was inspired by? So, Nonfiction is a song that is being performed by the first wave of Hololive English. And it basically describes, like, what they are and what VTubing is. And the reason that it moves me so much is because it's, like, it's the best way that I see VTubing, honestly. It's just a beautiful way of storytelling, I think. Now there's someone in Hololive who I interacted with online from the PL. It's so strange, but she's doing great. Grindel, that's amazing. That's incredible. Get back into the grind for real, honestly, yeah. It's like, I've been working so hard to, like, get everything ready and get everything set up, and then a lot of it fell apart, and now it's like, okay, but now you have to go back into everything. Now you're back into the real world. And, that's why I'm saying that, like, we're gonna grow things as time goes on. I have always tried to be the type of VTuber that always wanted everything ready from the get-go, right? I always wanted to have all the debut stuff ready. I always wanted to have everything ready to grow and just, like, this is my chance, and just, like, punch forward and show all the new stuff off. This didn't happen at all. This didn't happen at all. I've been going through so much of a different way of doing things that, we're going to be growing and expanding everything together. And on the bright side, because of that, transition, you guys are gonna have a lot of input, right? So, like, for the first time, like, I didn't used to do this. We could have a stream where we talk about, like, emote designs that we want to have or something. And we can all have, like, community feedback and work together. And then we can, like, do a lot of concepting work, live on stream, which I think would be really fun. Get everyone's input on things. I should actually do work today, so unfortunately I have to step out. Adulting sometimes makes me sad, but adults have to adult. No worries at all, Dual Thrones. I actually went way longer than I expected to, in all honesty. I thought I would go for like an hour and be like, okay, it's a scuff stream, I'm just gonna like reintroduce myself and that'll be it. But I'm starting to learn how to like talk to people again, which is crazy. Alright, I think we'll go to this last slide and then wrap it up here. We're gonna go to our regular drawing stream. Yes, I am still here. So, this little slide, you probably haven't seen unless you've been in the Irium Discord, or, on Twitter, maybe. But, essentially, someone was saying before, like, maybe the Stargazers could be, like, slime-looking like me. The Stargazers do have a existing form. The Stargazers are basically rabbit-like, mystical carbuncle-type creatures. And they are all known for having these little tassels below their ears and a gemstone on their forehead. And Prism is the only one whose gemstone, sort of formed a horn shape. And then my star is not a gemstone. That's more of like a fur pattern, if anything. But I will throw this in the Discord later. And essentially, I want to see what you guys have in your Stargazer form. Some of you have already made a Stargazer form, and if you have, sit tight, because there's more that I want to do with those in the future. But I figured that there's probably a lot of people here who have never seen this, so I wanted to show it off. Basically, the main thing with a Stargazer is, like I was saying, the gemstone, it can be in any shape except a 5-pointed star, because it would be a little bit strange if there were other Stargazers running around with my forehead shape. And also, Stargazers are sort of formed into this star-shaped crystal, so it's already part of them internally. There is no due date, Geekish. This was a contest in the past for Irium to get people interested in the Irium, but this doesn't have a due date, unless you guys want to make an event out of this, but I wanted this to sort of be like a general thing, and I haven't made like a clean finished sheet yet that can just be presented standalone. I don't feel like this is quite standalone yet. But essentially, it can be, the gem on the forehead can be any color, in any shape except the 5-pointed star, so any natural shape, right? Like a heart or a moon or a sun or a diamond or, a sphere, any of those are fine. The gems can be, like, cut-looking, or they can be smooth. No unnatural patterns, so no, like, plaid gemstones, right? Or no chevron gemstones. Either a solid or some sort of natural gradient. Like, if you know gemstones, if you know fluorite, they can be sort of striated green, blue, purple, or tiger's eye, right? That's like a gold and a black. Or you can just have a simple gradient, whatever is easiest for you to work with. The tassels are always these long fur pieces that are below a Stargazer's ears. So Stargazers are sort of based on the shape of a bunny. So the ears tend to be large. Not always, but they do tend to be large. And then the tassels below their ears tend to be long, and those are sort of like a variated fur shape, right? So sometimes they're wavy, sometimes they're very fluffy, sometimes they're a little sharp looking. Sometimes they take on the an elemental looking form, right? Like this, the aqua one here kind of has a wave looking tassel, but none of them are actually elemental yet. There is some spellwork that can be learned where a stargazer can take on real elemental traits, right? Like the tassels could be made of water, but we are not at that point yet. So no stargazer has elemental tassels. And then the tail can sort of be pretty free-for-all. You know, think of like a fluffy bunny tail or just a fluffy mammal tail. And it's pretty open-ended. And then color-wise, I did see some people submit in the past just like white with the line art color. The color is very open-ended to whatever you want. These can be fully colored. They don't have to stay as sketches. I want to see this be like your form in Lucinari, in the Atelier. I want this to be very, very personal to you and to be something that you'd be very comfortable with. I have no idea what you'd look like as a stargazer, Corbin, though mine looks nothing like me either. The sketch party tickled me. Make an OC in every fandom thing. I know I'm obsessed with purple, but that one speaks to me. Here's my Audi Ringstones idea. I want this to be, like, something that you guys can have a lot of fun with. And it's not required, but some stargazers do like to hold a special item. I know that, Lady Red, for instance, she has, like, a rose in her hair, right? And sometimes carries around, like, a pen or a sketchbook. So you do have the option for accessories if you want to, but it's not at all required. Color-wise, we were talking about, like, Crayola colors versus like, you know, light pastels. Color-wise, I want to try to deviate from harsh Crayola, or like a harsh neon or something. Think the color scheme in My Little Pony, right? So very colorful, happy, and bright. But if you do have a character that is a bit darker, think about the character like Chrysalis or Princess Luna, right? They have like deep grays or purpley grays. There's always a little bit of saturation still. And you can have a dark themed character that still fits in with the rest of the stargazers, right? So I will, I'll throw in some references later into the Discord as well. I haven't done this yet, but eventually I will create a channel that is just stargazer creation resources, and eventually we will also have a channel where you guys can specifically host your stargazers. I haven't 100% figured out all of the details of that, but I want there to be some dedicated areas where you guys can see other stargazer forms people have and have an easier reference for the design. And just be able to have fun with it, because, you know, I want to be able to evolve this. Yes, this is what many would consider a VTuber chat mascot in a way, but I want it to be a lot more. I want it to be something that is very personal to you, that you feel very comfortable with. So, you know, we got, like, Ina's Takadachi, and they can all have, like, their own little accessories, but they all sort of have the same form. I want you to be able to have fun and a lot of creativity. And, if you do not draw, or if you do not want to draw, you are perfectly eligible to write a description of what your stargazer form looks like, and you are perfectly eligible to create a mood board with all the aesthetics that your stargazer would have, or what inspires their look, or what we should sort of, like, think of when we read this. I do know a very, very good mood board website, so I will link that shortly. Not in the Discord. My colors are similar to a farming game that is in early access that I might enjoy called Fields of Mystria. Oh, interesting. I've never really been, like, super into farm games, but I don't know, maybe that would change with streams. I feel like streams work best for, like, different types of games that you might play on your own. So, I don't know. I might be open to it. Fields of Mystery, it causes me sadness. It'll be a long development time before I can marry the witch. I made one with a mood board and a little background story and description for the Arium contest. Yeah, exactly. I want, the ones that were submitted on Arium, I have a little bit of an archive of in terms of, like, screenshots. But definitely keep an archive if you have your own, and you can post it again in that channel. I want to sort of have, like, a little compendium where we can easily reference each other's. Can it be hybrid, or it has to be a fox? Geekish, it's actually not a fox. It's a rabbit. They're sort of, okay. You weren't here for the lore, but essentially, stargazers are a reincarnated form of a lunar rabbit. So, they were all from the celestial planes, and they turned into wisps after losing all of their magic, and we've sort of been working together to help bring all of that magic back. And then that magical form that they have is the stargazer form. But yeah, before being a stargazer, they were essentially all lunar rabbits. I'm happy with the stargazer form I made. I'm really excited to see more stargazers. I'm really glad, Vanillion. Thank you. I was here, my brain was doing homework. No worries, no worries. Moon bunnies, yeah! So, yeah, it's actually like a, it's like a, more of a rabbit form, and more of a carbuncle form. And I'm always nervous to say the word carbuncle, because it unfortunately has a, medical terminology, which is upsetting. But, think of carbuncle as in, like, Final Fantasy. Carbuncle are a mythological creature, that always have a gemstone forehead, right? Carbuncles only remind me of Final Fantasy. Yeah, that's fair. If you're going to look it up, I would write mythological creature in the search with it. Otherwise, it's not gonna be the prettiest result. But yeah, it's a mythological creature, and they are always known for having a gemstone on their forehead. And the gemstone is sort of like, you know, where their power comes from. The medical terminology, sorry, is the only version of carbuncle I know of. Yeah. No. It's, if you look at Final Fantasy, or if you look at, a mythical creature, you will see where I'm getting that from. Reminds me of a creature I used to draw as a cat. I called them Lunaball. Why did you word it in a way that made me curious? I mean, I can't stop anybody. I'm just trying to word it in a way so that you don't accidentally do it the way that I don't suggest. I mean, you know, curiosity killed the cat, I suppose. I can't stop you. I'm just saying that if you don't want to see medical imagery, then you either write Final Fantasy after, or you write mythical creature after. I am trying to help you, but I can't stop you. So that is of your own volition. I am giving you the warning now. It has always been worse when I don't give the warning. I always say the term, and then people always go, why am I seeing this? This is disgusting. And I say, it's not that. You have to specify mythical creature or Final Fantasy. I never look at anything more. I learned my lesson years ago. People need better Google Foo. Yeah. It's unfortunate, and it's sad, right? Because the term... okay. Carbuncle is basically a word that means, like, a red garnet or a red stone, right? That's, like, the origin of the word. So, the medical term is, like, because it looks like a red stone. But with the creature, it's because it actually has a red stone on its forehead. I mean, stargazers can have any colored stone, but traditionally, a carbuncle in mythology many times had a red stone, right? And it was like a garnet. It was like a garnet or a ruby. It was a big, valuable, precious gem. and they would be hunted for this precious gem. So that's the origin of the term. The fact that it was used thousands of years later, I can't control. But yeah. Hopefully that helps explain it. So I will throw this up in the Discord. But this should give you kind of an idea. Like I said before, the main limitation is Prism is the only one to have a horn. The gemstone cannot be 5-pointed star-shaped. 4-pointed is fine. It can't be fully rainbow. That is also something very specific to Prism. But any other color scheme goes. And they look like bunnies, so they also do not have paw pads. And I will post this in the Discord so you don't have to try to memorize all of this. Carbuncles are also bivalves in mythology. It's so confusing when words are used for multiple things. But anyways. Alrighty. So, now that we have said our piece and learned how to get back into the swing of things, and sort of... Can we see your full self before you go? Yeah, do you want me to go back to the main scene here? Let me see if I can do that real quick. If I remember where we're supposed to be. Alright, let's see if we can do this. There we go. Hello again. Slime is adorable, but your new model is just too nice. Thank you, I still appreciate that. Yeah, this is gonna be a new adventure. I think that what we are probably going to do is we're probably gonna have our next stream on Saturday, and that's gonna be like, we're gonna go back to normal streaming. I think what we're probably gonna do is we're gonna have like a calm sketch session. I'm also trying to learn how to have calm streams. I feel like I spent so much time trying to rush all the art streams and trying to like always be on with the art streams. So I feel like I want to learn how to calm that down a bit. And then with game streams, we can be like a lot more excited and adventurous. So we can have a little bit of variety. And then for those of you who are in the USA, I'm going to very frequently be on Irium once I can get all of the electricity fumbles figured out. So that will be a thing. For those of you who want to see the Irium streams but are not in the USA, I'm going to do my best to mirror stream them to YouTube, but I will not be able to guarantee that every single one can be mirror streamed. I'm just going to be doing my best to try to create an archive, but I don't have a guarantee. If you are in the US, it would mean a lot if you do watch on Irium. It helps me greatly. But for those of you who are not in the US, or might just be discovering Irium for the first time, that is the reason that I do the archive. Welcome back, Star. I'm so glad you've returned. More than that, I'm happy you're finding your own happiness. Thank you, Aster. I appreciate it. The comm streams always seem chaotic. That's the thing. Like, I want to try to actually learn how to do comm streams for real. Put sleeping pill in the Thunderbird's hamper. No. No, we have to learn to be friends with these creatures. I will bring out the giant Merriam-Webster if the birds show up. Alright. I guess that is something I'm going to need to learn to do, right? I need to learn how to raid. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see. These are never clear, I feel like. Alright. So, who is... Hang on one sec. I don't know how to do this. Alright, I want to try to mute it so that it doesn't, like, automatically start yelling at me with some person on the homepage. I just want to see who's on that I know. I only see... I guess I need to follow more people. Everybody is offline right now. I guess we will send you to Sky T. They are currently playing TCG Card Shop, and they are a fun little dragon. So I think we'll send you guys over there if you're on Twitch. Let's see if we can do that. Can I search? Can I do that? There we go. Oh, they're a cat today. Alright, they're usually a dragon, but today they're a cat, so that works. Alright. We are gonna start the raid, and I'm gonna do the best I can with this. Alright, all the best, Stargazers. Thank you so much for coming today. I really, really appreciate it. I'm so glad to see you guys again today. I'm learning how to talk for a long time, which is interesting. But it really, really means a lot to see you guys today. Thank you so much for this re-debut redo. It really means a lot, and I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, evening, or night, wherever you may be in the world or the worlds beyond. And well, thank you so much, Stargazers. All the best.